Hi, I'm Tom Hakeem, and it's time for Meet the Candidates, the people that are willing to go out there and represent us, be our voice in the township. And at this time, I'd like to introduce my good friend, a person many of you know in the township, Mr. Bruce Wade. Thanks for coming.
Thank you, Mr. Hakeem, for the invitation. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Before we get into anything that makes sense, I think that a lot of people in the township know who you are, and then a lot don't, because obviously our township's always growing. We have new people, and then at election time, people start to look. So why don't we start out? Just tell them a little bit about yourself personally.
My name is Bruce Wade, and I've been a resident of Clinton Township for almost 40 years. Right out of college, I was fortunate enough to be hired by the Clinton Township Police Department, and I started out at the most entry level you can as a civilian dispatcher, and 37 and a half years later, I was the police chief. So very fortunate. I was very honored to serve the community as a police officer and the police chief. And seeing how I went through all the ranks, and I always tell everybody I had every job in the department, just goes to show that I'm a very ambitious person. I'm a big dreamer, and was very fortunate and honored to have that position. When I retired from the police department, I started doing some work with different police departments, and got to know a little bit of, a few people in the community, and was offered a job at Macomb College at the Macomb training facility, where we train police, fire, and EMS.
Nice.
And it's a real nice job. I oversee all the advanced police training for federal, state, and local police departments. So as you can imagine, I'm quite busy with that. And I was, right after I retired, I was appointed to the Clinton Township Planning Commission and was elected to the Chippewa Valley School Board. Why I had my police career, I had somewhat of a side career in education. I was a longtime adjunct professor with Madonna University, taught at Baker College, and a longtime instructor at the Oakland Police Academy. As far as my education, I'm a local product. I got 2 associate degrees from Macomb College here, a bachelor's degree from Madonna University, and ended up getting a master's degree at the University of Detroit. And I'm also a graduate of the National FBI Academy in Quantico, Virginia. So in 3 minutes or less, that's who I am.
That's a lot.
Yeah,
That's a lot.
It's been a busy life.
The trustees are the team that kind of leads the township. You've been around, you've seen a lot, you've seen all what comes and goes, you've seen the township grow like I have immensely, and a lot of good has come out of it. We have great parks, we have a good police force, good fire. But whatever's good, you can always make a little better, because something's missing, something doesn't quite get to where it should. Bruce, as a trustee, you have a voice. What would you think we should maybe right now be addressing to make things even better than they are here at the township?
Well, we have to make sure that we're always attracting new people and new business to the township. One thing I'd like to build upon is, if you look at Groesbeck from Cass south of there, we've had great redevelopment there. Yeah. And I'd really like to see that continue on down Groesbeck, because we've had, let's face it, some vacant buildings there for a period of time, and I think it's time we really address that. I think some of the other things, we have to make sure that we either maintain or improve our roads, because that's why people want to come through here and buy a cup of coffee and go to a local diner, is because it's easy in, easy out. So I think that's important. And the number one thing, and it will always be that way with communities, you have to provide great services. So I really want to make sure we maintain great services here with being responsible with taxpayer money. It's a trade-off, but you have to find that balance, because if you don't have good services, it's not going to take long for people to realize they don't want to move here.
You have the background and current ability to look at our public services, our law enforcement, our fire, our first responders. There's definitely, it's no secret, a shortage. We need more in the township. The world's changing, and as safe as it is, we can always use more help. It seems that there's not the interest and or the stability that we have in keeping and bringing in new people. Do you see that as a problem, and what do we have to do about it?
Well, it is a problem, and I see it every day because being at the police academy, all the departments are calling, trying to recruit people. And what I think the main thing is, I don't think it's a money issue. We've taken a beating in law enforcement in the community for the last 4 or 5 years, and I don't think that's been fair. I can tell you, before I retired, when I'd be out in the public, I had so many people in this community come up and just say the most positive things. And so what I do, and I see it all the time, is I try to encourage people that these negative things you hear about a law enforcement career, that's only very few people that are saying that. The overwhelming majority of people are so respectful, and I will tell you, through the years, I have made so many great friendships and people that just have been the nicest they can to you, and they really appreciate you serving the community. And that's the message I think we need to get out there,
Well, and I agree. I think there's the difficulty is the shortages everywhere. Everybody's looking for help somewhere. I know my neighbor and great friend Kevin Klein was in your department, and Kevin, we talk about it, and he says, when he came on board, you had all kind of applicants, and you had to just kind of go through and find. And he said now people he talks to, they're just not as many. You're just trying to fill the voids. I think that a part of it, which you can speak to, is a great township, good place to live, good place to work. We have great parks. We have all new things going on. But we still need to add some business. I believe that myself, small business drives America. It's great to have the Walmarts and the Costco's and Amazon, but small business is what built this. And small business builds communities. Let's face reality. The day when you can go down and say hello to your barber, your grocer, people go, I'm old-fashioned. Well, I am, because I don't believe I'm having any satisfaction buying something on Amazon other than I might get what I need and might not have to take it back. What can we do? What can we do to bring more small business to this community? And the people will come because it is a great place to live. But what do we do about business? Because that's what we need here.
Well, I think a couple of things we could do, which would be of no cost at all, is we have to promote the things we have. And I'm going to give you a great example here. My son just graduated from high school. He's going to go to Macomb College, and he really can virtually walk a couple parking lots over and go to Wayne State or Madonna or just a number of colleges. He could even go to medical school by staying home. And
well-kept secret.
Oh, it's a well-kept secret. And I'm going to tell you how big that secret is. As I told you, I work for Macomb College. I work at East Campus. Mm-hmm. And people look at me and they say, Macomb College has an East Campus? And it's right here in Clinton Township, and people don't even know where it's at. And I think we need to really promote those things, because all those students, all those people that are going to come here to get educated and drive here every day, they're going to go to restaurants. They're going to pull through. Look at on Groesbeck. There's 3 coffee shops within a couple of parking lots. Yeah. People are going to visit all those people, and that's going to drive small business. And I think that right now is such a well-kept secret. I don't know of anywhere in the state that has the educational facilities like we have, and I really would like to promote that.
Well, I totally agree. I believe, because I'm aware of the campus and the programs available, and in today's economic environment, more and more people are finding that even young people are saying, I don't want to go away to school and create a $50,000, $75,000 debt that I don't know if I'll be able to pay. that'll go to Macomb and then go to the center and say, wow, I can get a degree from all these schools just staying here. I agree wholeheartedly that it brings people here. And in many ways, I agree. I think it's got to be promoted. It's almost you drive by on Hall Road and see a sign. It's a beautiful campus. I think that's really important, and I think that could be and should be. And obviously, you and I have both seen on Hayes Road, new centers come up, new businesses come up because the college is there. They used to call it a suitcase college. Everybody couldn't wait to go home. It's a lot different now. We have things to offer, and I think that probably could be a key. As far as a trustee on the board, I believe that voice would bring a good message, and I totally and 100% would support that. The roads are an issue which have been brought up over and over. People don't understand that we don't control that we don't have trucks in the waiting to fix all the roads here. I know talking to Mark Hackle over time, the problem is it's like a snowball coming downhill. And you can fix and then you start again. You fix and you start again. I think for overall, townships in decent shape. The subdivisions need help. And I know as a trustee, you can really, they've worked hard and continue to work hard to try to get some resolve to that. But I think the voters should know that you, nobody else, is going to push a button and fix the damn roads. Nice slogan. We fixed a lot.
Right.
We fixed I-75. People in Clinton Township, we don't care unless they're going up north or down south. Having your background and obviously dealing with a lot of people, I think communication is key. Everybody looks at what's good in this township and doesn't say a word. You drove by the new splash pad coming in. My grandkids will be here from California in 2 weeks. They love it. I mean, it's wonderful what we have here. But with that said, how do we get that message out? I mean, I think Clinton Township's a well-kept secret, not just the college. How do we get that message out to the public?
Well, obviously, we have to do the basic things. Social media, as we know, drives everything. I think we have to make a real strong effort through social media. Obviously, the local outlets. When people do come here, we have to make sure it's a positive experience and make sure that if people come here and they find something that's unfavorable, that they have an avenue to vent that complaint. That's really important because a lot of times, and I found this in my law enforcement career, many times people just want someone to talk to. And 3/4 of the time, just talking about it, people find resolve. I know people would come into the police station with a complaint, hotter than a hornet's nest. And when you explain things to them and they see it from maybe a different avenue, then they understand. But people do have to have a way to vent what they do or don't like, and I think that's important. But we have to have a top-notch social media campaign to drive people to come here, because that's the way everything's created today. The whole world revolves around social media.
Well, I agree. I always tell people if McDonald's and Disney still have to advertise and promote, we all have to promote all the time. In the township, there's been a little bit of riff on the board through the years. That's only human, all the way from Washington down to the local levels. People disagree on a topic or whatever it may be. Can get out of hand a little bit. What do you think you'd bring to the table, Bruce? We'll have a new group in that board, a lot of it this year. What message would you like to bring as far as trying to ease some of that tension that comes? And it's only human. We will all face it all the time.
Well, I think I'm a great communicator. Obviously, every time you go to a police complaint, usually you have to de-escalate something and make positive inroads with people. But also you have to be truthful. And sometimes the people hear the brutal truth and you work from that point, you have a much better understanding, because if you don't, if you're not honest with people up front and try to push the problem in another direction, sometimes it just makes the problem 10 times worse. So I think that the communication has got to be there. I think people have to have a trust in the people they're talking to. And I think it's one of the things I really bring. I've been in this community I worked for the police department for 37 and a half years, and I'm a high character person. I have high integrity, and I would never let anything compromise that. And I think people appreciate that.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So, in the next couple minutes, what you need to do is tell the people of Clinton Township why they should vote for you.
Well, I could give you a bunch of reasons. I'll just
That's
give
why
you
I
a
only
couple.
give you 2 minutes.
Yeah, I'm going to give you a couple. I think probably the most important one is working for the police department for such a long period of time. I really developed, I'll call it an emotional attachment to the community. From 14 in Harper up to Holland Hayes, I've probably been in every subdivision, so many homes, sitting down having a cup of coffee with somebody, trying to resolve an issue for them, or at someone's business, or at a neighborhood watch group. And I've gotten to know the people of this community. I think I know what they value, and I think I can make a very strong connection with them. And I think the role I would play is very important, because I understand this community and I know how it works. Obviously, the higher up you go in the police department, you work with the other departments here, DPW and the others, so you know the operation of the police department. So I think I'd be effective right out of the chute here. I think also I bring high integrity. I'm a high energy person, and people know that about me. I've had to make critical decisions for this township many times, and I think I've always done the right thing. And I think people respect that, and I believe people that need something resolved or they come before the board, that they would really take value in what I had to say and know that I'm doing the best for the township.
Very good. Well, on behalf of the township and my friends here at CTTV, myself included, first of all, I'd obviously like to thank you for your service to this community for that many years. It's great dedication, but it's also why me, my family, and everybody we know, we always feel good in this community and safe, and I know you're a big part of that. Also, I'd like to thank you for your intention to get more involved, and in this time, in this environment of very difficult times for most people, most Americans, not just financially, but stress-wise, division, etc., to want to get involved and see what you can do to further make things better for us. And lastly, obviously, I wish you the best in your campaign. Hope that everything works out for you. With that said, Mr. Bruce Wade for Clinton Township trustee, good luck and thank you for spending some time with us today.
Thank you, Mr. Hakeem. It's been an honor to serve the community that long, and I hope to continue.
Absolutely. So, for CTTV, this is Tom Hakeem.